So apparently, this lady is living in her car to beat the housing crisis, and apparently, this is how she blends in. So, the van life moment may conjure impressions of a freeing nomadic lifestyle in a nicely designed vehicle that looks great on social media. But a North Carolina woman has taken to TikTok to show the honest side of living in an automobile. By the way, I think it really depends on what the automobile is, how you set it up as well. Like a good YouTuber kind of like had like a pretty good example of what you can pretty much get away with something that's pretty minimalistic that doesn't really cost too much is a finance YouTuber called Nate O'Brien with his like do-it-yourself traveling truck, pickup truck. So Nikita Crump, who boasts 1 million followers on the app, has documented her experiences of living in her Honda Civic, which reportedly came from absolute necessity. One thing's for sure, Honda Civic, not really the great vehicle for that. So after struggling to pay her rent on time and skipping meals to save money, all the while going into debt despite working two jobs, she decided to call her car her home to avoid falling further into financial ruin. Now I'm pretty interested to see like how her finances are, like because that seems kind of odd, right? Because one, there's no reason why you should actually be forced to skip meals. Because if you were to factor in like a pack of like 12 ramen pack, like mini packs in the thing, that's like $2, $3 for like basically 12 meals of ramen, right? So like every single piece of ramen that you would end up eating, like each pack of ramen that you end up eating, is like a few cents per pack, right? Like you should be able to eat something. I'm not saying it would be good for you. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing or the best tasting thing, but there's not really a reason as to why you would be forced to skip meals. There's like no reason for that. Whether you're homeless or not, like you could literally get $3 and have 12 meals if you eat ramen. So Crump moved into her Honda in late 2019 and has lived in it ever since, so 3 years basically. And despite her candid discussions of what it takes to live this way, it is a way of avoiding today's exorbitant cost of living as inflation continues its tear, boosting food prices and, yes, rents. So let's see. She handmade window covers that are insulated on the interior, and on the exterior, black fabric blocks any view inside, which helps keep her safe. I wouldn't really say that really helps keep her safe. She sleeps in the back seat and every morning folds her bedding in a neat pile to make room available for the day. It's a way of saving money, but a number of her videos come with TikTok disclaimers saying participating in this activity could result in you or others getting hurt. Crump discusses safety measures she takes in a video from May, which earned more than 3 million views. She shows the window covers she uses at nighttime to block out any views inside, which she says in the caption are handmade and are effective when it comes to stealth, safety, and installation. Reflective and insulated materials coat one side of the covers, while another has black fabric, which goes against the window. It's totally inconspicuous, she says in the clip. Nobody knows I'm in here. And 2 months later, on July 4th, Crump posted another video showing her ways of finding places to sleep each night. She uses satellite view on Google Maps to locate nice neighborhoods or those whose areas show big properties with their own pools. Then she zooms in to see if other cars are parked on the streets, And the next step, she says, is to go at nighttime to check it out for herself. She uses her driver's seat as a dining room table with a tray that clips to the steering wheel. In addition to preserved fruit and peanut butter sandwiches, she also gets takeout meals from Subway. The neighborhood is clean, nice and quiet, and I can blend in, she says, of one area in an undisclosed city where she spent a recent night next to an ivy covered brick wall. Other videos show her sleeping in parking lots, windows covered, and document the practicalities of living in such a small space on four wheels. And on July 5th, viewers can see her start the day by removing the window covers after folding and tucking her bedding onto her back seat. She then heads into a Planet Fitness, whose parking lot she spent the night in, for a shower. She tucks a toiletry kit with her inside to wash up and brush her teeth. Next comes eating, and in that same clip, she shows a small black tray that attaches to her steering wheel that she uses as a makeshift table to eat canned fruit, peanut butter sandwiches, or even takeout orders from Subway. Later on, she shows the only way laundry can get done in a laundromat at a stop along her way to Oregon. The thing is, I feel like this is like a really potentially very lonely way to live your life, right? Now, here's the thing. She has the right to live this life the way that she wants to live it. The only thing is this really the type of life that you really want to live, right? Do you want to just be driving, living inside your Honda Civic, making TikTok videos? Is that what you want to do with your life? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, again, if you want to do this, more power to you. But the reality is, there's no reason for anyone to skip any meals at all. You can eat extremely cheap, no matter who you are in America. You could get really, really cheap food. You may not like that food, but you could get really, really cheap food. And a lot of times you can also get free water as well. Let's see. I always fold my laundry in the laundromat. That is not something that I'm trying to do in my car, she says. And once more, there are storage containers in her trunk and portable devices to keep her electronics charged. Here's things in my car that just make sense for homeless life, she says, classifying her life candidly. I've been homeless by definition most of my adult life, she says. I've even lived in my car before, briefly, so I'm not that unfamiliar with being in uncomfortable situations and being homeless. Despite the serious nature of her situation, she receives an array of comments on her posts, including, "This looks so lonely," and "Hotel Civic." Others, meanwhile, support her. Now, here's the thing, right? If she's able to, if I were in her position, I would try to make some money to change the vehicle at the very least. Like, more so like a van, just because you have a little bit more room to actually sleep. You could probably secure that a little bit better, a little bit more security, a little bit more safety, right? Like, that's the thing that I would probably go for, because not to mention you could really modify in like a do-it-yourself fashion a cheap van into basically a house on wheels. A lot better than a Honda Civic. Like, way better than a Honda Civic. So this other person put, "I love your resilience," wrote one commenter in a July video, while another recent clip had another tell her, "Supporting your journey through and through. One even learned tips of the trade. Thank you for this," another commenter replied. "I need to leave my place unexpectedly. This is unbelievably helpful." Well, that's a little bit scary. So let's see. Any comments? Yes. Let's see. When you get tired of the car life, you can come stay with me, buy an army vet. I thought TikTok was monetized like Instagram and YouTube. How can she have 1 million followers and still be broke? Legit asking as I don't have TikTok. What people don't understand is that, like, for example, if she was doing this stuff on like YouTube, she could probably be making like a really good, decent living, right? Like if she were to get like let's say like you were to have like a 8 minute or 10 minute video, if she were to have that, right? And she were to get like 1 million views on that like 8 minute or 10 minute video, and she had like ads in the middle of the video, she could probably make potentially anywhere from like 1,000 all the way up to maybe 10, 20 grand from that one single video, which could in a sense literally pay for her lifestyle for a year, right? Like there are people on YouTube right now making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars every single month, right? Like it's absolutely crazy, like crazy, crazy, right? I mean, not too long ago, there was even a YouTuber that literally showed him having a recurring revenue on YouTube in the multiple six figures every single month, right? And where in 1 month they actually made over $500,000 deposited into their bank account. Like that's some crazy numbers. So TikTok is probably really great at like building an audience, but if you're not bringing that audience to like another platform to monetize it, like a YouTube or an OnlyFans or something like that, like here's the thing. She could probably actually make a lot of money doing something like an OnlyFans by pushing her TikTok followers to that to help her support her and all that kind of stuff, right? So, but really like TikTok in terms of like the revenue, like it's very hard to make money from TikTok unless you're making money from sponsorships. Okay, so apparently she is making 5K a month from the million TikTok followers, plus whatever income from two jobs. So she's making bank off this. Just another fall hardship money making scheme. And the thing is, I don't really know because she just might not be financially like I don't think she's financially capable or aware as to what she can do with her follower base. Like, I don't think she's actually making that much money. Ba-ba-ba. Joe Tart and Hunter are doing just fine though. Ba-ba-ba. What's the big deal? I am retired and I spend months at a time living in my van. I have crisscrossed the country multiple times visiting relatives here and there and I enjoy it. I use Planet Fitness to shower, I wash my clothes at laundromats, and I cook on a camping stove. I stop at points of interest and I take my time. Maybe you should do a story about me. Let's see. Baloney. There are large RVs parked all over in Brooklyn with people living in them full time, and they do not look good. They are tapping the light post for electricity. They get water from tapping into a hydrant to fill their freshwater tank and dump the waste tanks right down the storm drains. Eesh, Lord. Gimmick people who live in their cars do not look like that. Blah, 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 blah. So article makes it sound like the poor girl is stuck in her car because of inflation, when in fact her TikTok page makes it clear it's her own choice. Anyone working two jobs, as the article said she worked, can afford an efficiency apartment not in Manhattan, mind you, but in a non-major city. Sounds like she just doesn't want to work an actual full-time job. P.S. Doesn't TikTok pay you? The thing is, TikTok itself doesn't really pay you that much. For example, one of the most viral content creators out there, aka Mr. Beast, has gotten over a billion views, on TikTok and barely made a grand from that. So that's something to keep in mind. Whereas a billion views on like YouTube would be multiple millions of dollars. Something doesn't add up here. There's absolutely no way she's homeless by choice. Working two jobs? Nah, there's far more to this story. Hot girl pretends to be homeless for attention and ad revenue. This game is getting pretty obvious. The thing is, if she's doing this on TikTok, the ad revenue is basically worthless, right? That being said, she could easily, depending on her views on her posts, could make multiple six figures per post, depending on her situation. With a Planet Fitness Black Card, you can plan your travel around Planet Fitness locations and stay fresh and clean without the hassle or extra expense of a hotel room. Not to mention staying in shape. I can see people doing that in a conversion van or RV as a cheap way to be a snowbird. I agree. I mean, you could do this with an RV or with a really cheap van. I wish I had half her courage. If she has that many followers on TikTok, she's making a hefty amount monthly. But lots of folks like that life. You just do you, girl. The thing is, not really. Like, this is the problem. A lot of people are for some reason thinking that just because you have a lot of followers means that you make a lot of money. That is not the case. Even if you were to get a lot of views, it doesn't even mean that you make a lot of money. Because if you're not monetizing your follower base, then you're not really doing anything. And like, here's the thing, right? I've seen people with like a 1,000 follower base make over $1 million a year, right? And I've seen people with over 1 million, 2 million follower accounts that make less than $100 a month, right? So it all depends on how they end up monetizing their followers. Because if they suck at it, guess what? They're barely going to make any money at all, period. Okay, feel free to give your thoughts on this. I think mainly this is basically a personal choice of hers, and she just kind of like prefers to live this sort of lifestyle. That's my personal viewpoint. I think she just prefers this lifestyle. Although, if she were to ever stumble upon this, right, it'd be pretty cool if she could like contact us at 40inbox.com because I think there's a contact us button or something, or I guess DM us on Instagram at 40inbox. Because I would love to know more about like her personal finance situation because it seems odd that she would have to skip meals when it's so cheap to actually get meals. Like so cheap to actually get food in general, right? And there's like a lot of food items at like gas stations that only cost like $1 or $1.50. So I'm just kind of curious because it's like, okay, one, she's got an iPhone. Two, she's got a Honda Civic. Three, she's able to like pay for gas to go and travel to different places, but she has to skip meals for some reason, or at least she was skipping meals. I mean, I think she's probably doing financially better right now, but at the same time, I think it'd be really interesting to see what does her finances look like back then before she went homeless, when she went homeless, and now currently her doing this thing that she's doing right now. Either way, I hope she stays safe and tries to be smart with her money, however she's making her money right now.